And sisters in the Dharma. How are you this morning? I hope you're all fine. Now, today we are going to continue the series of talks on the 10 paramis that you have been faithfully following for the past few weeks. Now, we are very fortunate to have today a very renowned speaker, Venerable Dr. K. Sri Dhammananda Nayaka Thera, to give us the talk on determination, which constitute another parami which we can learn to cultivate. To give you a profile of our speaker for today, and for those of you who do frequent the temple, Reverend Dhammananda is not an alien figure to all of you. He is none other than the chief high priest of the Buddhist Missionary Society. Now, chief, as he is commonly known, is a prolific writer. In fact, the free publications that you receive in our temple here are mostly written by him. Articles like how to overcome your difficulties, your responsible, ethical and moral conduct of a Buddhist, etc., 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 are all written by our chief. Now, our Venerable Sir also hosts regular Dharma talks on Friday at 8 p.m. Now, besides, the Venerable Sir is also the spiritual director of Young Buddhist Association of Malaysia. Now, as you can see, my dear friends here, the Venerable Sir has done a lot and is still as active as ever towards the propagation of Buddhism in our country, and his vastness of knowledge and his services towards the welfare, peace, and harmony of mankind have been recognized, and as a result of his work, he was awarded an honorary doctorate by the Dharma Realm University in the United States of America. So I hope you all have a rough idea of our speaker today, and without wasting any more time, can I hand over the mic to Reverend Dhammananda to deliver his talk on determination. Happy listening.
Have the mic. It's very easy. No, it's okay. When I raise my voice, I withdraw this one. I'd like to thank our young Buddhists for having invited me to come and talk to you this morning. Just now, this young lady introduced me as if that you do not know me. Anyway, she mentioned that I have written books, especially how to overcome your difficulties. But still I have not written a book, how to overcome my difficulties. I think very soon that will be out. The organizer told me my talk is limited only for 1 hour. He said, cannot go beyond that. I say it is up to the audience. The subject is Aditthana. Adithana. Aditthana. In English, determination. This is the 8th paramitas. Paramitas means perfections practiced by the Buddha in order to gain his enlightenment. So it seems that you have explained all the other items. This is number 8. 2 more to go. This aditthana, or the determination, is the most difficult item for a man to practice. All the others are not that bad, actually. This one is really create lot of changes in our mind, because we do not know the nature of our mind. why we cannot maintain some sort of determination that we have made earlier for a longer period or not even a short period. Changes take place. There are many reasons for that. I think many of you have heard when the Buddha made this determination in his mind. Can you remember the story? Is there anyone who can remember? When did he make this determination first time as an aspirant? When he was aspiring to become a Buddha. Can you remember? What is that? That's right. That is the story. Never mind. Let me repeat. One day, we do not know how long, how many thousands or millions of years ago, during one of his previous births, he was traveling by a boat, sailing boat. The sea, a storm suddenly overturned the boat. All the others who were in that boat at that time started to pray to their respective God. And this young man, he was traveling with his old mother. He, instead of praying to anybody, decided to use his effort. So he could manage to get hold of his mother and keeping the mother on his back, and he was swimming. But he does not know where to swim, cannot see the land, which direction, but did not give up hope. He was struggling and swimming with strong conviction and determination that he will succeed. So when he was struggling like this, here, one of the devas. Do you know the meaning of this word deva? Have you seen? No. Is there anybody who has seen a deva? No. Do you believe that they do exist? You believe. How can you believe if you have not seen them? I can give you an example. Don't worry about that. Have you seen atom? Never. You have never seen atom. Then how can you believe that atom exists? Those who have discovered this atom also have never seen. No one can see. So things exist, visible and invisible. So devas do exist. And one of the devas was watching what this young man is doing. And he had some relationship. This deva, one of his departed relatives, being born as devas. I think you can remember when I talk about this subject, always I tell you, although we separate physically or the elementary side, the mental relationship always maintained. The mental link, it depends on how far we have developed our attachment, our love, our confidence, whether relatives or friends or persons or things, anything whatever, we develop this attitude in the mind, the mental relationship we maintain. Related to this subject, determination, I'll explain to you later. So many of our departed ones, if they are in the spirit forms like devas or any other kinds of spirit, because they have very sensitive mental attitude, not like others. Very, very sensitive. And having seen what he did, he directed. You better swim through this way. Then you will be able to land. According to his instruction, he landed. After landing there, he felt very happy because he could manage to save his mother. That is why he was happy. Then he thought, why not I develop this? Two things, effort and determination, not to give up. Today I could manage to save my mother by using these two, effort and determination. But I can utilize, I can harness, can develop this further and further to serve the whole mankind, to save the whole mankind, not only my mother. That is the very day that this idea of becoming a Buddha, this determination that he has implanted in the mind. From that life onward, he went on developing and developing and developing life after life. Then he said, Buddhohang bodhisami. One day I must become a Buddha. Here Buddha means a wise, intelligent, enlightened person who can serve others. That is the meaning of Buddha. One day I must become a person like this. Why? Muttohang moche pare. To save others, not for my own benefit. So the purpose of becoming his Buddha is not to save himself. Otherwise he should have done that long ago without suffering so much. To save others. This word savior we can use in that sense, but not like Christians and Muslims introduce this word savior. There's a different concept. We can regard him as a savior according to the Buddhist way of practicing this religion. Why it is necessary for me to save? What is wrong with them? Sansarogha mahabhaya. Sansara, wheel of existence. Ogha, storm. Mahabhaya, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Therefore I must save them. This is the determination. So he continued this life after life by fulfilling all the other 10 perfections, all the other 9. What are those? Start from the beginning, that we have learned earlier. What is the first one? One by one. First one, hurry up, don't waste time.
Generosity.
What do you mean by generosity?
Contribution.
First one is dana. Dana, 3 ways, but not like an ordinary man. First thing, practice dana by sacrificing property, material things and pleasure and everything. Second thing, practice charity or generosity by donating something from the body, like blood or eyes or kidneys or hair or skin or anything for the benefit of others. Third one, sacrificing the whole life to serve others, to save others for the welfare and benefit of others. That means, even at the risk of his life, when others are in trouble, he had the courage to come forward to save others, disregarding his own life. Very few people can do that. So this dana, this charity, he practiced in 3 ways. Again, 3 ways. Amisa dana, Abhaya dana, Dhamma dana. Did you heard or did the speakers explain all these aspects when he was talking about dana? Explain. Very good. So you can remember. Then I am not going to explain. Then next one, sila. What is sila? Morality? No. Very poor interpretation. No. You must learn the real meaning of sila. Any other interpretation? What is sila?
Discipline.
Huh?
Discipline.
Discipline also not very advanced. It is there but not so advanced. The meaning of this word. Sila means when we try to swim in a river against the current of the water. Very easy to swim the other way. You can, by following the current. But difficult to swim against the current. You have to struggle. Now this is the meaning of sila. That means by nature man's mind creates craving, desire, jealousy, anger, silly ideas, temptation. Without following that method, that way of life, just like following the current, we try to go against this thing. This is, in that sense, it is discipline. We have to discipline ourselves without following that nature. That nature, the nature of the mind, just to create these things easily. The real meaning you have to understand, but not by following the book's language. So if I am going to explain one by one, I don't think I get enough time to explain all the other. So the determination is one of them. And just now I explained the nature of this determination, for what purpose. Whether for our own benefit or to do some service to others. Which way is better? Which way is better? This is a very delicate question. Answer very carefully. Which way is better? Just to serve others or serve ourselves? That's all. Serve others. Not completed. This thing you have to learn. Then I can give quotation from the Buddha, from Dhammapada. Atta datthaṃ parattena bahuna pinahapaye. When you go back, you can see Dhammapada. Atta under A, see this stanza. That means, when you come to serve others, you should not neglect yourself. What does it mean? Your principles. By violating your principles and morals, if you come to serve others, it is not the real service. Not talking about your life. Life is something else. Talking about the principles. Now you can serve others by robbing. Go and rob from somebody and serve, feed a poor family. This kind of thing. Always remember your basic principles, your precept, then serve others. To serve others, right. At the same time, for our own spiritual development. When we serve others in that way, we also develop our own spiritual aspect. Not for our own pleasure or our own convenience. So just now I told you, this is the most difficult thing for us to practice. The answer was given by the Buddha in Anguttara Nikaya, Sutra Pitaka. He says, Chittang bhikkhave lahu parivattang. He said, I have never seen anything else here in this universe that will change so rapidly other than the mind. The mind is going on changing every fraction of a second. This is the nature of the mind. Then what is the cause? There are many causes for that. First thing, external agencies, objects, sources, through our senses as objects we take into our mind. According to that particular object, we change the mind. What we have decided earlier. That object influences the mind either to create temptation or hatred. And then determination is gone. External object, all these senses. If not, the mental objects, without five senses, we create our own mental image, object. Then how do we create this? Assume a man who is born blind. This man has never seen anything in this world. But in his mind, he creates his own image for everything. When you talk about black and white colors, he creates his own imagination, but he has never seen. When you talk about various other things in this world, he creates his own imagination. Again, his anger, jealousy, greed and grudge and all the other things exist, although he cannot see. Previous experience, the experience, the habits that he has developed during previous birth, that consciousness or the storehouse of consciousness influence the mind to create those images. Only thing, he has not seen the outward manifestation. So these things again disturb the mind. Difficult to maintain determination. Another thing, we have preconceived concepts that we have learned from our childhood. We learn from our parents, elders, our friends. So we have already accepted, decided certain things as truth, but never analyzed. After that we get some other information regarding the same concept that we maintain in our mind. Then these two clash. New concept, new idea, new information cannot agree with the old one that we have already deposited in the mind. This is the biggest problem. So we are not ready to surrender, to give up the old belief that we maintain in our mind. If not, we try to justify. Or this is our tradition. or this is our custom, our Chinese custom, our Indian custom. But the new ideas given by some people are not acceptable as long as we maintain such concept in our mind. Another example. Scientists have discovered so many things for the last, say, 100 years, more than 100 years, which we have never heard earlier. And they have clarified many things which we have accepted as miracles. When they analyze according to their theory, there is no miracle. All these are natural, normal occurrences. But religionists who have recorded these things in their holy book, either as message given by the God, if not as truth or facts, cannot agree with this new scientific theory. They say, oh, we are going against the God's wish. How can we accept this? History says, like H.G. Wells, this world was not created within few days' time. The life is not created within few days' time. It has taken millions and billions and billions of years. But according to them, within few days, completed everything. See how concept takes place. Those who believe that this earth is flat, and another man discovered Galileo. This is not flat, this is round. That poor man had to die because of that discovery. Religionists could not agree. When Charles Darwin discovered the theory of evolution, how changes have taken place for billions of years, they say, no, it's against our creation. We cannot accept. When the modern world tried to introduce cremations of dead bodies, they say, no, we cannot cremate. If we burn, one day when the God comes and calls us, there's nobody to get up. There are hundreds of such beliefs that they have accepted earlier, contradict. People cannot agree. Then the clashes. So if you want to accept truth and fact, you have to think unbiasedly. Don't bring even Buddhism also into it. The Buddha has given that credit to man's mind, not to surrender to anything without considering, thinking, understanding. So, these are the problems that we have to face when we are going to develop this determination in our mind. Now take for instance, today, after listening to this talk, you determine, every Sunday I must come, must attend this puja, get some blessing, listen to this kind of talk. It's very useful, right? You are not bluffing. At this moment you have that determination. When you go back, mix up with others, environments change your mind. That determination is gone. Assume 200 people have decided. About 25 may turn back next Sunday. This is the nature of determination. And you determine not to smoke. Yes, throw away your cigarette also. After that, having seen how others smoke and puff and enjoy. And the aroma create temptation. Never mind, I smoke only one. Only today, only. After smoking, you had it, temptation. Then slowly again start. Drinking also, when you attend a function, social. Never mind, today I drink, no harm. Go and sleep, and after that I don't take. That create temptation. Determination, you can understand the weakness. Then who is behind? In our mind, I have explained there are 4 faculties, mental faculties. When you define the mind, what are those 4? Because this thing I am going on repeating again and again. You must learn. There are 4 mental faculties, not only one mind. In that mind, there are 4 faculties. Start from the beginning. First one, feeling. Have you got any feeling? Got. All right. Then who experienced this feeling? Body? Body or somebody else? Who experienced the feeling? Body cannot experience anything. Mind, only mind can experience feeling. Then how many kinds of feelings are there? Yes? How many?
3 times.
3. First one, pleasant. Next one, unpleasant. The other one, neutral. Do you know what is neutral? Every minute we experience one of them. We take seriously only pleasant and unpleasant. Neutral one we don't take seriously. Then I can tell you one thing. When you go out, you meet so many people on the way. Hundreds of them. Then you meet one of your good friends. Then you laugh and talk and embrace and joke. Taken into the mind. When you go home also you go and tell others, I met so and so today. Again you meet one of your enemy. Oh, you're very sour face, staring at each other and what like this and this boiling inside. You go away. You go home and tell, today I'm very unfortunate, I met that fellow, on the way. But you have met more than 100 of others, they are not in your mind. You never talk anything about them, isn't it? Neutral. See the difference now? So easy to understand. Whatever you do not take seriously into your mind, either pleasant or unpleasant, all remain as neutral. This kind of 3 feelings. That is the first mental faculty. Second one? What is that? What do you mean by perception? I cannot understand. What do you mean by that? What is perception? Hurry up. You learn this book knowledge, textual word, and say perception. What is the meaning of this word?
Perception enables one to recognize and to remember.
We recognize, we understand, identify. This is so and so. This is man. This is woman. This is child. This is called perception. Everything in this world we recognize, but our identification can go wrong. It is a different thing. This is another mental faculty. What is the third one? Third one? Hurry up.
Sankhara.
Now you have to answer for everything, the organizer. Organizer cannot answer, only audience. Yes, because I want to know whether they have learned all these things. What is the third one? Mental? Mental formation, mental tendency, mental habits, mental concomitant, but not mental committing suicide. See how many words are there. But still these words cannot give the real meaning for you to understand what it is. And this particular department, mental faculty, is the one that we are going to talk today as determination. Remember that. That is why purposely I want to dig out this. Mental habit. We have a lot of habits as hobbies for good things, bad things, and neutral things. Again, three things. Some are harmful, dangerous. Some are very good, useful. Some are neutral. But all are habits. Then the good and bad habits we analyze as good karma and bad karma. So very easy to understand this thing if you know how to analyze in this way. The neutral one cannot create karma either to enjoy or to suffer, because we have not influenced the mind by doing that. To do good things and bad things, we have to influence the mind. So, whatever we determine seriously to do or not to do, this is called aditthana, determination. It is here in the third mental faculty. And this is the mental energy that we continue life after life. This point is very important. Why? A person who has determined to become a Buddha long ago, by cultivating all the great virtues, qualities, precepts, knowledge, how did he maintain the same qualities after his death? That's why I told you this is very important. That is what bodhisattvas are doing. Because their determination is so strong, deeply rooted into their mind. Not like our determination. I told you just now the nature of our determination. Very vague, very shaky, very shallow. But we have to develop this. That is why we cannot become bodhisattvas or the Buddhas. So, that their determination always pave the way, condition, then the environment, situation, in favorable way for them to carry on their way of life. And that determination in that consciousness always remain as one of the important ingredients in that consciousness. Now, for you, although you are not going to determine to become Buddhas immediately, some of you can do if you really want, but it's the most difficult task, not so easy. Nowadays people can produce Buddhas at any time. Yes, always Buddhas appear. In every country Buddhas appear, but we do not know where they appear, how they appear, and who is the father, who is the mother, no horoscope. Just, our Buddha appear in Japan is very powerful. And nobody knows when this Buddha appear. It is electronic Buddha. Very powerful, very dynamic, very energetic. Electronic Buddha appeared in Japan. In Tibet, another Buddha appeared. It is mystical Buddha. In every country, the new Buddhas are there. My dear friend, the most shameful thing for us to say, reincarnations of Buddha. So many reincarnations of Buddhas come to this country also. Can you imagine? How can we use the word reincarnations of the Buddha? After becoming the Buddha, he said, Natti dani punabhau. No more rebirth for me. I have stopped everything, having seen all these problems and sufferings and difficulties. I have stopped craving for existence. These people come and bluff us saying they are the incarnations of Buddha. Are we not disgracing the Buddha? Is that the way to introduce the Buddha? If they say they are trying to become Buddha, then no problem at all. Don't disgrace the name of the Buddha by lowering in that way. So, you also make a very strong determination in your mind after performing some meritorious deed every time. What is that? What did you recite? No need to recite in Pali. What do you recite? I think I have to treat you like children in religious kindergarten, I think. Although you have come from universities. What is that determination you develop after performing some religious service? Why I am trying to dig and inject all these things into your mind? When other religions come and try to attack you, criticize you, condemn, you don't know what to say. And then surrender. In the end, you surrender. What is your determination? Is there anybody who can decide in the Pali? Tatav. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana patya. Read the Handbook of Buddhist. This is very important. This is determination. How we develop determination. If you perform your religious services and duties and the merits without such determination, the uncertainty is this. You do not know what you gain. Understand? You do a lot of meritorious deeds. Definitely you get some good result. Whether you believe or not, you experience some good result. But you do not know what you gain because you have not developed determination in your mind, no aspiration in your mind. That is why it is important. What is this aspiration? Imina punya kammena. By the virtues of this merit, this meritorious deed, Mame bala samagamo, may I never get the chance, opportunity to meet bad companion who mislead us, who blindfold us. Bala, very low, those who maintain low mentality, who can influence us very easily, avoid them. Satang samagamo hotu. May I get the chance to associate with learned, understanding, wise, virtuous, good people. They can guide us, advise us, train us. Yava nibbana patya, until I attain my final goal, nibbana. This is the aspiration, this track. So when you determine in this way, every time this will become your mental habit. Then you develop in this your mind. So then after your death, what will happen? The determination, aspiration that you develop in your mind become very dynamic mental force in that third mental faculty. Assume, due to certain circumstances, rebirth has taken place in a family. Assume, even so-called Buddhist family, people never regard, never respect religious way of life. They are very cruel and wicked and cunning and irreligious, uncultured. Birth has taken place in one of them. Even then, this person never follow them. Because of that mental, there are many. Parents are very wicked, very bad, very cruel, irreligious, but some children are very religious minded. There are. Therefore, we cannot say that other religions are bad, Buddhists are good. You must never utter such word. Among those followers, there are very good people. And they have a different concept, different belief. Some of them just show, but not that belief is not in their heart. They know how to face fact. When we associate with them for a longer period, they reveal to us the secret. Although I had to maintain this as my traditions and this and that, actually I know what is right and what is wrong. We have met so many. So you don't worry about them. So you get the chance to continue your way of life. You can keep that label no harm at all. Now let us take the Buddha. Do you think he was born in Buddhist families before his enlightenment? Where was Buddhism at that time? Mostly in India, among the Brahmins and Hindus and Jainas and those who have no religion at all, even as animals also, rebirth has taken place. But he continued his way of life without change. Because of this determination. So when once we determine to carry on something, no one can change that. This will become the strongest force. So this is the third mental faculty. What is it? In Pali, what is the Pali word for this? Sankhara. This word sankhara can clarify so many problems that others cannot explain. Our mental habit from childhood, why some children by nature, why some are very cruel in the same family from the same parents. Some are very kind, some are cruel. Some are very stingy, others are very generous. Some are very cunning and crooked. Some are straightforward and honest. Some are very healthy, others are sickly type. Some are very intelligent by nature, some are stupid. Some are obedient, others are criminal-minded. Some are very, very religious, others, they run away when you talk about religion. And how these differences take place. This is an entirely different attitude. The parents are not like them. Then who is responsible for that? We have no reasons to believe that God created all these differences. There is no reason for him to create these differences, to suffer. One group to enjoy, another group. This sankhara, this word, this mental habit is the main cause. What we develop within this lifetime, either as good habits or bad habits, knowledge, understanding, or a stupidity, ignorance, hatred, anger, jealousy, or kindness, compassion, understanding, harmony, unity. See the difference. All these things become mental habits. Then some other karmas intervene, either interrupt, either support or topple, mix up, muddle up everything. This is the secret. All these things depend on that particular mental habit, mental attitude, mental tendency, determination that we have made, what we have decided to do, to continue for a longer period. So what we determine today, good thing, may drop the halfway. Very few get the chance to continue up to the end of their life. All the others, because circumstances, obstruction, hindrances, difficulties, change their mind. So, the willpower that we have developed through understanding, but not by force. We cannot develop our willpower by force, by thinking like this. Today I must decide, I'd never change this. That is the force. It doesn't work. You have to consider why it is necessary, then compare, then analyze, then see, observe very carefully. Oh yes, this is like this. Now I can see why so many people are suffering because they have done this. Why so many people are free from this kind of problem because they did not follow that method. Why they are happy, contented because they lived like this. Why these people are worrying, crying, suffering, fighting because they have followed this method. Judging, observing in that way, then determine. There's no force there. That is the way how Buddha has developed this through understanding. Then the bodhisattvas or the human beings who work, who determine to become Buddhas, three groups, three kind of bodhisattvas. Saddhadika, Viryadika, Panyadika. This is also important. One group of bodhisattvas develop more faith and devotions and confidence and dedication and carry on all the other good work depending on developing faith, confidence and devotion. Another group, Viryadika, use more effort, more energy, more willpower, more determination. These are the forces behind for these people to carry on all their good work until they attain the Buddhahood. Then Panyadika, the last group, those who got more knowledge, more understanding, more wisdom. So they do everything by thinking very deeply, analyzing, realizing why it is necessary. Why should I avoid from all these evil things? Why should I observe all these good qualities and principles? They also develop all their good qualities considering in that way. All of them one day can become Buddha. Is there any difference? Can you please tell me? Is there any difference? Like others, I teach. Is there any difference? Yes, there is. One who practices more devotion, confidence, faith to become Buddha take longer period. Because in that faith and devotion, dedication, knowledge and understanding, lesser degrees. Understand? Right. Next one who uses only effort and energy and determination, also longer period, but less than the first group. Fever. Because that energy and determination are more advanced than the devotion. One who uses knowledge, understanding, wisdom, shorter period. Buddhahood means gaining wisdom and enlightenment. That is the important aspect. So when we develop this life after life, this knowledge and understanding and realization, easily can get enlightenment. Gautama the Buddha, Sakyamuni Buddha practiced this. More knowledge, more wisdom, more understanding. When he was practicing all the other great paramitas, perfection, precept, qualities and virtues. But all the others had to spend a longer period in the samsara to shape up. Now see the difference now. Then, at this moment, the circumstances changed our mental attitude. There were many monks during renounced their worldly life, ordained as monks, staying with the Buddha. After staying for few months or 1 or 2 years, remembered his family, his wife, his children, disrobed and gone home. After staying at home again, then he knew he had to work so hard, now no happiness, no freedom, difficult to practice meditations and this and that, again decided to renounce, gone back. The monks were very kind enough again. That way of life is very common at that time. After staying for a few months, again remembered the family, again gone back. One monk has done this for 7 times. Remember his wife, his children, again gone back. See the nature of the mind. When he renounced, he never think that he want to come back one day. He think it is one-way traffic. But after that, again turn the other way. That is why it is difficult for us to cultivate, especially as young people. Because still you have not seen the world. Your mental faculties are still very raw, not matured enough. And you have that inquisitive mind. You are very keen to experience the worldly pleasure. Because it is natural. Buddhism never say it is bad or wicked or sin. No. It is natural. So whatever you decide today to go against all these things can create a lot of frustration, disappointments in your mind later because you have not seen the world to realize. To say, oh, world is like this. Having heard from others is not enough. Those who can do this earlier is due to their previous experience. That means during their previous birth also they have done this renunciation. So easily they can determine, they can understand and work. But many others again come back because of this weakness of the mind. So my advice to you also, having heard all these talk and reading book and by attending meditation class, you should not decide at once, I must give up everything and become monks or this and that. You have to consider this very carefully. Otherwise later you get some sort of disappointment. We need monks, but if we are going to invite such people, we are also going to invite trouble. Because they cannot make up their mind. The nature of the mind is such. When once we determine, you must have courage to continue in spite of various problems. And those who do a lot of good work, services to others, try to lead a very honest life without disturbing others, experience a lot of problems. Others come and disturb them. Then they start to think and talk. I never disturb another person. I never bluff another person. Why do people want to come and disturb us? Then what is the use of practicing all these things? I also must follow them. This is the nature of the mind. That is why it is difficult to determine those occurrences, incidents, circumstances influence the mind to change our mental attitude. Do you know, always I give a parable, a simile for this. You might have heard, but very meaningful. Can you remember what it is? What is it? Cannot. This one. A man who knows how to drive motor car. Can you remember now? Still cannot. One who knows how to drive, he determined, I must drive very, very carefully, mindfully, to avoid accident, not to disturb others. It's exactly like a man who decides not to harm others. So he drives very slowly. Now the others behind, pom, pom, pom. And your behavior becomes nuisance to that man. If not, another man come and bang behind your car. Then suddenly some motorcyclist or another person come and knock. And your car also may overturn. Then you decide, what is the big idea of following all these things, trying to be good, try to drive very carefully. I also must drive like others in future. You had it. Exactly like this. You must have that knowledge to understand the nature of worldly condition. We try to be good. Why it is a big battle? Because of these difficulties. If it is so easy to become good, there is nothing for us to do. To cultivate one particular principle within one lifetime is a big battle. Because we had to go against so many forces to uphold this principle. That is why it is called Sila, just now I told you. So you must have that courage to face, to understand. Then carry on, they will succeed. But not by following those others. Exactly 1 hour. So I don't want to go again. I had that determination at the beginning. Thank you.
The enlightening talk. Dear brothers and sisters in the Dharma, I hope you have understood to a certain extent the contents of the talk today. Now, may we now open this? Right. Please do not worry. You do not, if you are shy to ask questions, voice out your doubt.
Mind to develop that determination. Circumstances create that action that I must renounce. He has done it. After doing that, he had some determination. Aditthana is dependent on is consciousness, vijnana. Vijnana is very rich. The combinations of all the other three mental faculties and the object we gather through our senses and create concept. This consciousness is the one that which transmit from here when we are going to depart from this life. Not the soul. The word soul or the Atma or spirit introduced by others who could not analyze, understand the nature of this consciousness. Because this analytical knowledge of the mind was not there at that time. So loosely they have taken this, a soul created by God, transmigrate according to Hindus and others, and it's not directly according to Christians and Muslims, but Buddhists. And modern psychology is today, you see, when you compare our modern psychology with the Buddhist concept of definitions of the mind, actually we have Buddha has analyzed this one. So, in that consciousness, there are avidya, trishna, karma, upadana, bhava, four strong ingredients. Ignorance, attachment, all the good and bad karmas, then attachment that we develop, inclination towards something else. Bhava, karma formation, the formation created by the karma. These five things transmit from here. That is in that consciousness. So to understand these things we have to study. So Buddhism is not a subject or religion just to believe something. To study, understand, think, analyze, then we get the final answer. Otherwise, our determinations never work. Wrong concept, some sort of disagreement, you can clarify these things. A Christian priest, American, two masters, one message, and giving history, references, authenticity accurately. No one can deny. In every page, one side sayings or the Bible sayings, Christians. The other side, the Buddha's sayings from Dhammapada or some other sources. Then compare the same idea. No new idea, only name is changed. Say Bodhisattva into Joseph, something like that, only different names there. Then miracles from the birth up to the death of Buddha and Jesus. And all these miracles is pointed out where in the Buddhist book. Everything, mostly from Buddhist Jataka stories. So very well written, very simple language. This can help us to develop our confidence and to avoid misunderstanding and conflicts and criticism. When others try to come and show the superiority of this, you can show this one here. Your Bible says like this. Buddhist book says like this. And everybody knows Buddhism existed 500 years before Jesus. So no one can say, a sane man cannot say that Buddhists have borrowed from them. So this writer, being a Christian ordained priest, he says all these things they have borrowed from Buddhists. And the name of the countries also where they have met at that time, Iran, Middle East, Greeks, and many other countries, Indians and the Christian group, how they exchange their ideas. Again he says certain things that Buddhists also have borrowed from them. It is true. When Mahayana Buddhism was developing in India, about 700 years after the Buddha, they met some of those Christians, some stories, some incidents. The Buddhists also have learned from Christians. It's quite natural. No one can deny that. So very interesting book. And will be out very soon, I think another 3 or 4 weeks time. I handed over to the printers. We try to minimize the cost according to the charges. More than 200 pages, worthwhile. Very simple language. Try to introduce. People, our Buddhists, get more confidence to avoid argument, unnecessary argument. Remember this. And very interesting quotation there. 2 stanzas in Dhammapada, our Buddhist book. Same 2 items you can find together in the same area in Bible. Can you understand that? 2 sayings of the Buddha in Dhammapada in one place. The same 2 you can find in the Bible also in the same place. And this writer asks, if they have not borrowed this from Dhammapada, how can they publish together these 2 in the Bible also? Very interesting, very unbiasedly he has written this book. Never tried to condemn, no criticism there. All historical facts. So next.
For sparing the time with us. And dear brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, there's an announcement about a seminar on Fitness for Life on the 3rd of November. Now for those of you who are interested in joining, can you kindly enroll at the counter? And I hope to see you again. Sadhu, sadhu to you, Reverend Sir.